Just wow. What a fight that was, guys. David Benavidez versus Demetrius Andrade. It delivered. Now, my prediction was David by decision, but I was not shocked by the outcome. The reason why I picked decision, though, is because I really feel like the most. Like, I didn't want to go with all the crowd and just say David by stoppage, because a lot of people probably said that with the Caleb Plant fight. You can't call it stoppage every fight, you know what I mean? But when you think about it, the reason why I picked decision win for David and not knockout is because Caleb Plant survived. But now I should have known, though. Well, not that I should have known, but the way that Demetrius Andrade fights is different than Caleb Plant in the sense that he tried to be physical with David like he does with his other opponents. He comes on strong at the start and he tries to be very physical, and doing that with David is just not a good plan because eventually his strength and size will overpower you, especially if you're the smaller guy coming up in weight from 154, which Demetrius Andrade, that's where he started, and he is 35. He's not getting any bigger, right? His body has done growing, whereas David can actually still go up in weight. This isn't even like his final weight class, in my opinion. I could see David going up to at least light heavyweight, maybe cruiserweight. Heavyweight would be something crazy if you did that, but I just don't see that though. But yeah, so the reason why Caleb Plant lasted and Demetrius Andrade didn't is because Caleb Plant isn't as aggressive as a Demetrius Andrade, and even though Demetrius Andrade does box in his own style, it is boxing, but he's very active. He's very on the inside. He's throwing a lot of punches, putting on his own pressure, whereas Caleb Plant and other boxers will keep a distance, you know what I'm saying? So I got to give respect to Demetrius Andrade. It just makes you look at the Shakur Stevenson Edwin De Los Santos fight, and that fight just looks like garbage completely now. Or just the way that Charlo fought Canelo. That fight looks like garbage too. Like, Demetrius Andrade is a guy. That's what a guy looks like when they try to win a fight, guys. You cannot shit on Demetrius Andrade. That's what happens. The reason why he got stopped is because at least he was trying to win a fight. Those other guys, sure, they make it to the final bell, but their stock goes down even more, in my opinion, because they didn't even actually try to win. You know what I mean? Like Charlo and versus Canelo. Like, Charlo did nothing. There's obviously a lot of other fighters who just try to survive, right? With the Shakur fight, it was more of two guys just trying to wait on each other to counter, and no one wanted to risk it. So in a sense, yeah, no one's trying to really make any action happen. But at least Demetrius Andrade, like, he gained my respect. He's a humble guy. And the fact that he came up in weight, he's been long layoff. I thought he did pretty well. I had him winning the fight up until round 4 when things started turning around. Like, I gave him like the first 3 rounds, but you kind of wondered how is he going to keep up this pressure against just such a big guy like Benavidez. And he even said after the fight, he did not concede that David Benavidez was the more skillful fighter, which I tend to agree. I think Demetrius Andrade is the more skilled boxer. Like, if David Benavidez wasn't as big, maybe it would have been a different outcome. But the thing is, David Benavidez, that's his strength. Is his strength. You know what I mean? He is such a strong guy for the division. And even at light heavyweight, I feel like he would be one of the strongest guys in that division. That just says a lot that David Benavidez's best strength is his strength and size. And obviously he's got good boxing skills too, guys. I'm not trying to hate on Benavidez and saying he don't have skills. But I'm saying is Demetrius Andrade does have the better boxing skills than a Benavidez, I feel like. I feel like Benavidez just kind of walk you down, breaks you down. But obviously, he is skillful. Don't get it wrong, he is skillful. It's kind of like Canelo. He has that same. They got similar attributes. When Canelo walks you down, he just Canelo's so durable. So is Benavidez that they're willing to take shots to land their one shot to hurt you. So sure, maybe Caleb Plant was a better boxer than Canelo. Maybe Demetrius Andre was. Maybe there's a lot of other fighters that you could say are better boxers than Canelo, right? But did they beat Canelo? No. Only Mayweather and Bivol did. Obviously, I thought Triple G beat him too, but Triple G's just a complete animal. Not only is he a good boxer, he's a knockout artist, right? So that guy is just a monster. But what I'm trying to say is sometimes it's not just because you're the more skillful fighter doesn't mean you always win the fight. You know what I mean? Like we could find that out with I don't know. Like, well, look at Deontay Wilder, right? He's not the most skillful boxer, and look what happens there, right? There's tons of examples of this, guys. But when you have both, that just makes you a complete monster. David Benavidez obviously has both. Like I said, Triple G had both. Gervonta Davis has both the power and this boxing skills. But yeah, like you got to give respect to Demetrius Andre. He was putting up a really good fight, really good body shots. It's just what I see. I watched a lot of Demetrius Andre's fights before I watched this fight to make my prediction. And the one thing I noticed with Demetrius Andre, see, he was fighting at a lower division, like 160, and this stuff would work. This very high octane early start, kind of overwhelm the guy, break him down. And then later in the fight, the guy, he's taking a lot of damage early that he's pretty much Demetrius Andre. He wasn't at a strength disadvantage, so it always worked. What he did to Benavidez would have worked. That's what I'm pretty much saying. What he did tonight would have worked against most opponents, if not all opponents in the lower weight classes, you know what I mean? The problem is, when you got a guy who's super durable. And like I said, when I watched some of Demetrius Andre's fights, some guys were able to take his punishment. Even though they were losing the fight totally every round, they were taking the punishment. And I was kind of thinking, it was in the back of my head, David Benavidez is probably going to be able to take his punches even better than these guys. So is he going to gas out Demetrius Andre? Which he was starting to gas out, I feel like, too, but obviously the knockdown really hurt him, shook him up in round 4. But I feel like he was expending a lot of energy trying to keep David Benavidez at bay because like Demetrius Andre was actually trying to rough up David Benavidez early. He was being very physical with David, even pushing him back at times to the corner. I've seen, and you could tell Demetrius Andre was expending a lot of energy doing that. He even said in the post-fight interview. Is just the strength and size was too much for him, and the inactivity hurt him as well. But he feel like he was the more skillful fighter, which I can't argue that. He had definitely the combinations were way, like he just throws such flashy, beautiful combinations, Demetrius Andre. Beautiful straight lefts to the body, beautiful jab, legs are good, moves well. It's just eventually David, the monster's gonna get you. You can run, but you can't hide, and eventually he will find you, and that's what happened. Now, this is the big topic, guys. Now that this fight's over, and supposedly the winner is supposed to fight Canelo. It's his mandatory. It's been ordered apparently by Mauricio Suleiman, Mr. WBC, which will it go through? I think it's going to go through, to be honest. I would have been hesitant back a year or two ago, which that's why the fight never got made. But I feel like they know Canelo is going to he's at the end of his career soon. Like, I know he still has a lot left in him, but and he's not super old, but I feel like the writing is on the wall for the organizations. The script will soon be flipped. Canelo is the cash cow, but they see the ending to the tunnel. They see that they need a guy to replace Canelo. And really I don't think you can really, like, I wouldn't be surprised if they obviously over marinated it and they didn't fight next, but I feel like this fight has to happen next. There is no other opponents that we want to see Canelo fight at 168. There is, unless it's Bivol. Bivol moves down in weight, I would see that. But other than that, a guy moving down, there is nobody at 168 that we would want to see Canelo fight. Like, I know there's good guys there. You could, that have good records, that are undefeated, but they're not going to sell, and no one wants to see that. We want to see only one fight now, and that is Canelo. Canelo versus David Benavidez. So, like, yeah, like, I really hope, what is it, May? May is Cinco de Mayo, right? So, hopefully the fight gets made in May next year. Hopefully it's the next fight for both of them. They both will have good rest. Canelo fought in September. Now we have David fighting in November, so it gives Canelo a bit more rest, which he is older, so he could use the rest. Like I said, guys, you go to the rankings. Sure, there's Jaime Munguia for both of them. There is who else we got here? David Morrell. He's only 9-0. Not many fights, but obviously the guy is knocking everybody out. He's moving up the ranks. Who has he really beat, though? No one really we know. So really, guys, okay, I'll throw in Jaime Munguia there. That fight would sell. You obviously got Edgar Berlanga. That's not going to sell, though, guys. We only want, after looking at we got Christian Mabili. He's on a tear right now as well, but these guys aren't going to sell. Like I said, there's good opponents there. And like I said, future fights for both these guys, David and Canelo. But this fight's got to happen next, guys. And this fight is going to be so good. It's unbelievable. This is going to be an instant classic. I cannot wait. I'll make a full video on it, guys. I can't believe it's going to happen. When you think of Canelo versus Benavidez, it's two unstoppable forces colliding. It's an unstoppable force versus an unmovable object. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be incredible because Canelo don't back down from nobody. And David just is a monster. And Canelo will have to face his toughest physical challenge since Triple G, in my opinion. He's never faced anyone as strong. Actually, no. Kovalev was pretty strong too. But the thing is, Kovalev was like, I don't know, he was pretty much already done. Like he wasn't in his prime anymore. He was on the severe decline after the Andre Ward fights. And he was coming off of a win against, what's his name? Anthony Yard, but it was like a 2-month turnaround or something, or 1 month. It was a quick turnaround. Anyway, I think David Benavidez will probably be his most physical, demanding fight since the Triple G first fight, I would say. Because, like, I know, like, Canelo has faced really good boxers, and I don't think the boxing of Benavidez will really throw Canelo off. I think the strength is going to really, like, Canelo is going to be in a fight after this fight. Even if he wins it, he is going to be battered and bruised and exhausted. Both guys will after this kind of fight. Who do I favor? I think it's 50-50. I think You would have to favor Benavidez at this point. Now, if it happened 2 years ago, I would favor Canelo. But it's close to 50-50, guys. I would have to favor David Benavidez, the young, hungry, natural 168. You know what I mean? Canelo is like a Demetrius Andrade. Obviously, he's stronger. But he started at what was it? Did he start at 140, I think, Canelo? But he started at 140, I think. But he won his first title at 154. I could be wrong, but I thought he started at 140. But pretty much, though, Canelo would be at the size disadvantage, like he always is at 168. Okay, yeah, he did start at 140. I was right. So this would be a huge win for Canelo if he can pull this off. Just thinking about the stylistic matchup of this fight, guys, it's incredible. Like I said, 2 words describe this. Or not 2 words, but unstoppable object versus unmovable force. Unmovable, I don't know if I'm saying it right. You know I'm getting at, guys. Unmovable object versus unstoppable force kind of thing. What's that saying? I don't know if I'm saying it right. You know that saying, guys? I don't know. Anyway, I'm kind of tired, but it's going to be 2 superpowers colliding. One of them has to lose. Who will it be? I don't know. This is going to be an amazing fight, guys. And it's the only fight we want to see. If they give us anything else, the fans will be extremely pissed. Even if it's Munguia, we will be pissed off. I'll tell you that. Even if it's a Bivol fight at 168, I would still be kind of pissed off. Because, I don't know. I feel like the winner of that fight can fight Bivol at 175. That's how it should be. The only guy that can beat Bivol is maybe David Benavidez, to be honest. But I don't see nobody beating Bivol, though. I got to pick Bivol over Benavidez still. But we will see how the Canelo versus Benavidez fights happen. And then we'll kind of judge at the Bivol fight after that fight. Because if, like, Canelo gets beaten thoroughly by Benavidez, then that will be the next big fight. It'll be Bivol versus Benavidez. But anyway, guys, good fight. A lot of heart shown and determination. A guy who actually is there to fight and win in Demetrius Andrade just didn't have the strength to pull it off. Thought his skills were enough, but he says it just wasn't. The size and strength is too much in there. David Benavidez, he does what he always does. He breaks you down with his strength and his power punches and his pressure, his mental and physical pressure. He's just so durable, and he doesn't get tired. He keeps on coming for you like a monster. Yeah, guys, it was a good fight. But let me know what you guys think about how you thought the fight played out. Like I said, the reason why I think Caleb Plant lasted, like, I'm not going to take anything away from Demetrius Andrade because I still want to see, I would like to see that fight. Caleb Plant versus Demetrius Andrade. That would be an interesting style matchup. I think I might favor Demetrius Andrade if he comes back not too damaged after this fight, because he was taking a beating, and it was a good stoppage. I'll put that in there, guys. The fight ended in round 6. It was a good stoppage. I was starting to worry for him a bit, because usually the fights that end badly, or the guy ends up having a brain bleed or like some kind of brain problem, it's usually from a beating that Demetrius Andrade started to take. So I like the corner was very good. They like him. They love their guy. And they protected their guy for any more harm. Because you do not want to take a beating like that. The one-punch knockouts are actually not as bad, you know what I mean, for your health. It's the beatdown. So, but, yeah, I'd still favor Demetrius Andrade over Caleb Plant. But Caleb is a 168-pound guy. He's been there for a while. Demetrius Andrade's new to it. So it'd be interesting. But, yeah, like I was saying, guys, the reason why Caleb lasted, it was because he has a different style. He's not as aggressive. and he didn't try to physically overwhelm Benavidez like Demetrius Andrade does to his opponents, and that was it. And it made it a good fight, and it made him win rounds, but it ended up being his downfall, right? He got tired, and he was more susceptible to getting knocked out when you fight like that. So I wouldn't say that Caleb Plant is the better guy than Demetrius Andrade just because one guy got stopped and one other guy didn't. I'd still want to see that fight. And I respect more of someone who actually tries to win a fight than a guy who survives just to say he survived and he didn't even try to win. That's what I'm trying to say, guys. But yeah, good body shots, good straight lefts, good combinations, good footwork by Demetrius. Just couldn't keep it up. And eventually the strength of David Benavidez, the constant pressure, the monster just walking forward. And eventually he's going to get you because he's just so durable. But can Canelo land his wicked combinations on Benavidez? Because you know David Benavidez is going to be there to be hit by Canelo. I can tell you that much. So this is going to be explosive, guys. Cinco de Mayo, I think that's right. That's May. That's not September. That's Mexican Independence Day is September. Sorry, guys, I'm not Mexican, so I don't know them. But I'm pretty sure May, Cinco de Mayo, Canelo Benavidez. That's the only fight we want to see. Thanks for watching, guys. Triple J Boxing.